Hey guys, today I'm gonna begin the rebuild on my 2012 KX85. I'm gonna show you guys how to properly disassemble it and get it ready for a new crank, piston, and cylinder head work. To begin, you're gonna wanna remove all the 8mm bolts holding a clutch cover. I like to label everything and put them in Ziploc bags. That way, assembly is a whole lot easier. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is take off the four 10mm bolts holding the clutch and pressure plate together. Next thing you guys are going to want to do is use a 5mm Allen key to remove the kickstarter bolt and remove the kickstarter. The last and final part is to remove three 8mm bolts holding the water pump onto the cases. Now that we have removed the right hand side water pump cover, we're going to want to get a fresh bag and start disassembling all the transmission and kickstarter components. After removing the kickstarter and this gear using the snap ring pliers, you're going to want to use your Tusk clutch holder tool to remove this nut. To remove the crank gear, use a 17mm socket, and it is loosened clockwise. And then once you're done, remove everything and use a zip tie to keep everything organized. It's time to remove the shifting. To remove the shifting, all you have to do is pull up, and here is your shifter linkage. And to remove this, it requires a 10mm and 8mm socket. Now that we have finished everything on this side of the cases, we will turn the cases around and remove all the components from this side. After removing the flywheel nut, use a 7/8 wrench to hold down the flywheel puller and use a 17 socket to remove the flywheel. Now that you have removed the flywheel, it's time to use an impact screwdriver to remove the stator and all the electrical components. Now the cases are ready to be split. We have to remove all the 8mm bolts around. Now that we have installed our case splitter, it installs pretty easily. Just thread on all these 3 studs. And then make sure this center bolt is lined up straight onto the crank. And then we will get a wrench and start splitting the cases. Successfully split the cases. Now I'm gonna take out the rest of the components and get the crank ready for the machine shop. Now that I have split and packaged everything up, I'm going to deliver the crank to the machine shop and clean up these cases. And in the next video, I will start assembly with the fresh piston, the machined crank, and all the rest of the components.